If you need to have your data synced over multiple devices in real time, then Firebase Realtime Database might be something for you. Let's see how we can implement this in a Xamarin.Forms application. Let's have a quick look at what we're going to learn in this video. On the left, you can see a running application, which is the client application, where we are going to see the actual live data showing up as we add it to the database. On the right, you can see an app that is actually adding data to the database. So we have this little entry here and hello world. And whenever I click the save button in almost real time, you can see it's added to the database and downloaded onto our device here on the left. And that is what we're going to see, what we're going to learn in this video. Now, before we do anything, let's create a Firebase project. And if you have another project, then you can reuse that one because you can see these projects as kind of like your apps. And within these apps, you can use multiple services, right? The push notifications that I got videos on as well, maybe the databases or some other stuff, authentication. They have a lot in here. So if you have another app that this has to do with, then reuse that project. But I'm going to add a new project here. So I'm going to click the add button here, and I'm going to say real-time database test, something like that. And I'm going to click continue. Then it's going to ask me, do I want to do the Google Analytics? Now, of course, if that's something that you're interested in, feel free to do so. I'm going to disable it for now because I don't use it. And I'm going to say create project. So this takes a little while, and in the background, in the cloud, it's going to create this little project for me, provisioning the resources, and it gets me everything that I need to get started with these real-time databases. So it should take a little while. And finishing up, come on, let's get this going. Yes, there we go. So continue. Your new project is ready. Now let's continue, and you will be brought to the dashboard of your new project. So here you can get started for iOS, Android, the web. On the left, you can see all the things that you can do here: machine learning functions, Firestore database, real-time database. That is the one that we're after. So let's just click that. And it's also good to mention that I'm on the Spark plan. You can see it all the way here down left at the bottom. Which is free, $0 a month, just the way I like it. And I think most of these services you can start for free. Also with the real-time databases, I think it allows for like 1 GB of storage in your real-time database. And that is, if you're just storing bits of text, that is a lot of text that you can store for that. But be sure to check out the billing details and if that is working for you. Now here I am in the real-time database section. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a database. You want to choose the right location. Now, of course, if you have a app that's going to be rolled out worldwide, this might be a little bit tricky because normally I would recommend that you would choose the database location where it is closest to your users. So if it's very regional, choose the closest location there. But if it's going to be a worldwide app, then it's going to be hard what the closest is going to be, right? So this says United States. The closest for me is Belgium, so let's choose that. And then we're going to click next. And here we have the security rules. Now, this is very important. I'm not going to go over this into too much detail. Of course, you want to, specify users or keys or tokens or whatever that can access this database. But for now, I'm going to start in test mode, which will allow me from like today to do 30 days of testing. So it will add rules to do just testing, reading, writing by everyone, basically. Now, don't worry, if you're watching this video, I've thrown away this database already, so you won't be able to use this if that was your plan. But definitely look into this and how it works before you're going to release your app into production, because you definitely want some kind of authentication in there, right? So be sure to look at that. I'm going to say enable, and it's going to create my database right now, and it will take me to the page of that database. This is my database, basically. So you can see the database location all the way down to the bottom. And here in this big white blob here, you can see this is my real-time database test AF450 default RTDB. So this generates a unique name because we are supposed to be connecting to this from the outside, right? So the URLs have to be unique. unique. And the URL that we can reach this on is right here at the top. So we're going to need this. Like I said, there's more in here, the rules, so you can edit the rules here. Make sure to have a look at that. You can do backups. You can see things about the usage. So again, make sure to look at that. But I'm just going to focus on the CRUD actions here. So create, read, update, delete. Well, not even all of those. Just get you started with how to work with this real-time database. So let's just copy this URL. Let's remember this one. Copy it, and we're going to go over to Visual Studio and see how to implement this to get real-time records in our real-time database. Now this video is a little bit different than other videos that I put out there because there is a lot to cover here. So I don't start with a file new Xamarin.Forms application. Well, I started with that, but I'm going to show you a little bit further down the road what I've been doing. So let's start by inspecting all the things that you can see here on the left. You see a little shared project, which is a shared project between all of the apps basically, because I have a client app right here and a server app, if you will. So I don't know if this is a typical real world scenario. I don't think it really is, but for now I have an application with a entry where you can just type some text and that will be saved to the database, and on the client app it will be updated in real time. Just to show you the concept, of course, maybe you have this chat application where the applications are both a server and a client, right? Or maybe, I don't know, some other application where you are operations out in the field, people are doing work orders and they have to have real-time information, something like that. So the more typical scenario is probably that you have one app which is a server and a client in one. But this is just to get kind of like the point across. So I have this server and this client, and they both reference this shared project, and it just is here for this little model class, right? So this is my database record. This is the my property thing. So it's just a very simple object that we can save to the database and retrieve from the database. Now, other things that you will see here is, like I said, this client. So this is my shared client project for Xamarin.Forms, and this is the Android and the iOS targets. And the same is here for the real-time DB sample. So this maybe should have said server in it. So this is kind of like the server application, right? So what I did on the shared applications here, I'm going to show you for one. I installed a NuGet package that will make it possible to make the communication with the Firebase servers a little bit easier. So just right click, manage NuGet packages, and let's have a look at the installed ones here. This is called Firebase.net, Firebase database.net, excuse me. So, you know, you can do all kinds of things with this, but the thing that I'm going to use it for is the real-time Firebase databases. So that's what I'm going to show you. Install this on only the shared projects because it doesn't need anything specific to Android or iOS. So just these shared projects and you will be good. Now here I have the main page of the server app. So this just has an entry and a button. So here I can enter some data and I can click the button and it will actually save that data to the database. And if we inspect the code behind for this, the main page.xaml.cs, then you can see that it creates this new Firebase client, and it does that by referencing this URL. So let's put that in here. I copied that from the portal. And, you know, if you have to do some authentication here, then definitely do that. Go check out the documentation for this plugin and for the database on how to do that. Or let me know down in the comments below. If you can't figure it out, then I will answer there or create a new video. And we're all set. Now we have this Firebase client. Also, what you probably don't want to do, this is all sample code, is create this client over and over again whenever you click a button. So just create this once, and actually let me just fix that right now, because I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to show you this wrong way of doing things. Let me see a Firebase client. So let me get a Firebase client here, Firebase client. I need to add this right using. So there you have it, new Firebase client. And now this all works and we're not creating new clients all the time. Okay, so that's fixed. Boom. And now what it's going to do is Firebase client.child record. So this is going to be kind of like our name for the table that you're putting things in. Although this is a document database, right? So this is going to be, it's not going to have a scheme, as you might know from like older SQL things or other SQL solutions. This is just going to save like JSON files, and it can look anything. You can just add properties. So you always have to also be aware of like, hey, do certain properties exist in the object that I'm getting back whenever you're adding new properties to things. That's all things that you need to know about document databases, right? So be sure to check out what that is exactly as well if you're not too familiar with that. But this is kind of like our table where we're going to save things. And here we can also do a post async. And here is where I'm creating my new database record with the text from the entry, and it's going to post that to our real-time database. Now, in this child, you can also see we have other things. So the as observable, we're going to see that in a little bit. You can delete, you can do get results once, you can do order bys, you can do post, put, you can do all kinds of things, right? So this is kind of like the operations for your database. Again, there is a lot to cover here. So if you want to know more about this, please let me know in the comments and I will be sure to create something for that. And now let's hop over to the other side. So here we have the main page.xaml on the client application. So that's this one. You can see it's selected here on the left. And what I did here is implement a little collection view with an item source that is bound to a collection that is called database items. I have a video, a playlist even on how it works with data binding. So be sure to check it out if you don't know what that is exactly. And also on this next thing, which is the item template. So for each item in this collection right here, we're going to have this template, which has a little stack layout with a label, and that's going to bind to the my property. And we know that from our shared model, right? So this is where our shared model comes back in. And it's going to show the records that are coming in into our database. Now, how is it going to do that? In our main page.xaml.cs for this client application, I'm creating this observable collection of database items. So that's where the binding comes in, right? So the page binds to these database items. I initialize it as a empty collection. I set the binding context to this so that our collection views know to look at the main page and inside the database item, so it knows that this is the object it has to use for its data binding properties. And here again, the Firebase client. So here we have again the to-do. Oops, this is not exactly what I wanted to do, but the string is still in here, so let me get that URL out of here. So again, I'm creating this Firebase client, and I shouldn't do this all the time, although this is happening only once for the constructor, but let's move this out of this here as well. And let's make this a Firebase client and add the using again, so that we have this Firebase client. And now this connects to our database as well. So this is connecting through two applications to our shared database. So now we just have this collection, which is actually an iDisposable. Well, again, typically you don't do this in the constructor probably, but for now I'm doing this, and this is an iDisposable, so make sure to dispose of this whenever you don't need it anymore. And what's interesting here is that we know this already, right? Firebase client.child. So we're going to go to our records table, and then we can say as observable. So you can get the whole collection as an observable collection, basically. So this returns it as an observable collection, and you can just put that in your items. So that's one thing that you can do. But the next thing that you should do is here at the subscribe, and then whenever something changes in the database, it will fire an event here, which is really cool. And we get that by, whenever we do that, we have this database event. I named it like this. And if we inspect that object, db event, you can see that it has a couple of things. So we have the event source. I'm not even sure what this is, but it will tell you something about the source where this is coming from. The event type, which is interesting because the event type can be insert or update or delete. So you can see what to do with this record inside of your own application. So that is valuable information right there. And of course, we have the key and the object, right? So we have a key that is auto-generated by inserting the record. It will do that automatically so that it's unique. And we have the actual object, which is the actual record. And because, we tell it here that this has to be the my database record, it will know strongly typed what things we're looking at here. So The only thing I did here is check if the object is not null and just add it. So I didn't add any logic here to see if it has to insert or update or delete. I'm just going to add it because that's the only scenario that I'm supporting here, right? So on our client, it's just going to add new things whenever things are going to be added. So actually, let me just bring up the applications here side by side so you can see what is going on in the application right here. Now on the left, you can see the client application. So there we have a collection view, which is empty right now. And on the right, you can see the entry with a save button. So now the really cool thing is whenever I start typing things here and I press save, you can see it real-time updates automatically on my client application. So if I say, did you subscribe to my channel yet? Then save, it's going to boom, save that in the collection view on the other side. That is how you can implement real-time databases with Firebase and Xamarin.Forms. Now, one more thing, if we go back to the Firebase console, so here we have Visual Studio and here we have the Firebase console, you can see also this updates in real time. So here we now have our records, which is the database, the table name that I called it, right? This is the key, so you can see that is very randomly generated, very unique. And whenever we go in here, you can see the my property with the values that I just sent here. So this is like also updating real time automatically. You can see the usage, do all the other things here. So this you can very much use for debugging purposes, and you can see what is going on here to see whenever things are going wrong or right. I think you can even edit it here, and then probably the events are fired the other way as well. I'm sorry if that might gone a little bit fast, but I'm trying to keep my videos short and concise, so you know that you will only get the information that you're interested in. If there is more that you want to know, please let me know down in the comments, and also be sure to check the video description for some links, because there's also a link to the documentation for the real-time databases, because this database type is for a very specific use case, I think, where you really want to get those real-time things on there. So, you know, they have in the Firebase has in their documentation a very good guide on when to choose which database. So you just have to answer a couple of questions. Do I need this or that or that? And you will go to their website and see what database type is good for you. But this real-time database is really cool to play with and very easy to implement, as we've seen right now. Please let me know down in the comments what you still need help with, or what you liked about this video, or just, you know, a general thumbs up. Thank you. I always appreciate those as well. Of course, as always, the link to the GitHub repository with all the code is in the video description as well. So be sure to check that out so you have a reference of everything that is going on here. Thank you so much for watching again one of my videos. Please click that like button so other people can get to watch this as well, and they can click the like button, and then I will get a lot of likes, which is nice for the YouTube algorithm. Please subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't done so already. I will very much appreciate that as well. And as always, keep coding.